What's up, guys? JG, Guards Gang Adventures. Welcome back to the channel. I'm super excited about today's video. I hope you guys are too. I got my little buddy Action Jackson out here helping because we got a lot of work ahead of us. KemiMoto was kind enough to send us out some signature lights. So these are the signature lights here. We're going to open these up in a second, but I wanted to talk about what the signature lights are first. On the higher end CanAm models, they offer, I've heard them called all kinds of different things. I've heard them called brow lights, fang lights. The fang lights are more specific to the razors, but I've heard people call that on the CanAms as well. But anyway, so the signature lights are going to go right here. Okay, so right here above the headlight, this is going to be one piece LED headlight or LED light that goes all the way down. On the higher end CanAm models, they do come from the factory that way, but even when you get them from the factory, they have a couple downfalls. From CanAm, it's basically a single LED at the bottom that lights up the brow, and you got reflectors that line it up all the way right here, which looks pretty cool, but the end result of that is you're gonna have one really bright spot right here. It hits the reflectors and it travels all the way down. So basically, the further you get down, the dimmer the light's gonna be. Not the way on the KemiMoto. It's full LEDs going all the way across, full RGB, color changing. They also have a turn signal kit that you can add to it. You add a rocker switch in the dash, and you can turn these things into turn signals. These are something I've been eyeing since we got the machine, just didn't want to spend the cash, so I'm super, super excited to be able to actually put these on and give you guys the review and give you an honest review and let you know what we think about it. I will say it does look like it's going to be a good amount of work.
Yeah, it definitely is.
We got a lot of screws to take out. This front end comes apart. A lot of plastic. If you guys watched any of the other videos, that was something I was not a fan of on the CanAm, is the front end disassembly. But it's the only way we're gonna get our brow lights in, so we really gotta get busy. So first things first, let's open up these signature lights. Let's see what KemiMoto put in the box. And once we go over that and get a good understanding of where things go and how it's gonna look, then we'll start tearing this front end apart and get it all put together. Let's do it. All right, so these are the front turn signature lights from KemiMoto. There's going to be a part number right there. And of course, I will leave a link in the description if you guys are interested. Let's unbox this and see what they come in the box. Jackson, you wanna hold the camera for me? All right. Ooh, look at those.
I can't really see, neither can I.
All right, well, make sure they can see. And I'm gonna pull them out of the box, Jackson. Look at those.
I actually think there's...
Those are super cool. So, all right, so it says this is the left one, Jackson. So that's going to sit something like that, which I think looks pretty cool. I think the quality of the housing is pretty spot on. I think it looks good, man. Let's see what else is on the box, in the box, huh, Jackson? We obviously got the other side. And there's our wiring. So there's the RGB controller. This is what's going to link via Bluetooth to your phone once you download the app. That is my turn signal wires, I do believe. And then these leads go out to each one of the RGB light. So we're going to have to plug this into factory power, which that is the cool thing about CanAms. Even though this machine didn't come with these signature lights, the harness is already there. So you don't have to worry about running power wires as long as you want to run it that same way. So that honestly doesn't look too bad. I think it's time we start tearing this front end apart, Jackson. What do you think?
I think the hardest part is gonna be just taking off all the plastics in the bumper.
Yeah, definitely.
I think that's gonna be the hardest part, though. I don't think it's gonna be that hard, like with putting them in a wiring.
No. It's definitely going to be the most time-consuming part, taking that front end apart. Looks like we got bolts here.
It's not your first time.
There's probably 20 different bolts in there we got to take off. But either way, it's nothing we can't handle. It's Saturday. It's beautiful out. We're supposed to get some storms later. I think we can manage this, Jackson. What do you think? Start tearing it apart?
Yeah.
Let's get these signature lights on, and that way we can see what they look like and see how they are. All right, so I think what I'm gonna do is just do a time lapse here. I got a couple other things I'm gonna be doing. I'm really only gonna jump back on camera if I come across something that I really feel like you guys need to know and is pertinent to the installation. But my plan is just time lapse. We'll get them in, we'll get them done, regardless of how long that takes, and then we'll come back and talk about it. Let's do it. All right, Jackson, there it is. We got that front clip off. Bike going by, that sounds awesome. Anyway, got that front clip off. What do you think? I don't think it was that bad.
It wasn't terrible. It looks like it was a lot of work, but it really wasn't that bad.
It wasn't too bad. Honestly, it was a bunch of T20s, T30s, 10 millimeter, 8 millimeter. I think a 7 millimeter was in there. It really wasn't too bad. It's just, you kind of just got to keep taking screws out and keep pulling, seeing where it's attached to, and then looking around to see what that looks like. So we got that off. That looks crazy. Whole front end torn apart, and there's the front clip. So now, got it out here, just laying on cardboard, whatever. Anyway, now we got to remove both of those headlights, and that should give us access to those signature lights. We could pop out those factory inserts, slap in these awesome KemiMoto RGBs, and get them wired up. Jackson, you gonna help me do it or what?
Yeah.
You excited?
Mm-hmm.
I want to see what these things look like. They look super, super cool. Super cool. Let's do it, guys. Let's start tearing it apart and get these lights in. All right, Jackson, you ready to pop these headlights out?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Where did I say it is? Right here. So there's that headlight. Out of the way. Let's put this off to the side. We'll leave that there.
Inserts are right under that plastic piece right there.
Yeah.
Gotta do the same thing.
Why does CanAm do these stupid different size screws? That is the dumbest thing ever. Bolts, whatever.
CanAm doesn't exactly do the best job for people that are
7?
doing maintenance and putting on add-ons.
Let's see. All right, that should be that headlight. Oh, you know what? That was the same one, but I hadn't taken that one out before we popped that front clip off. That's why. The other side I had already done it. Because down here, it's going to be your 8 millimeter. They still should have made those the same all the way around. So let's set that off to the side. Now we're getting a view of where that light is. So we got one right here, one right there, which I'm not going to be able to get to. Let's see.
Yeah, you take the camera.
So I have one right here. That's looking like that's going to be an 8 mil. And one back up in here. But I'm not going to be able to get to, well, I could probably get to that with a ratcheting wrench or a box wrench.
Yeah.
Let's see.
That's not smart.
Let me see, Jackson. Here, you man the camera. Once we get those out, so I'm gonna get a box wrench. That's gonna be an 8 mil.
Yeah, over here there's 3 screws. There's one here, one there, and then one over here in the corner. See it right here.
All right, I said box wrench, Jax. Said box wrench, but ratcheting wrench. If you guys don't have a set of these, definitely get them. They're awesome.
They're very useful for doing things like this.
Look at that. Instead of taking it on and off, just ratchets. You're not gonna be able to see, but it's okay.
Yeah. Trying my
Let's get
best
this
over
one
here.
out. And I'm kind of thinking there's gonna be, I think we're gonna have to take off that bracket, but let's see. It doesn't look like
Here,
it'll
try
be-
that ratchet and I can start on this one.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me see, I'll get you. You get that little,
It's like,
you can
is it like
see.
this or I'm not the very best at this?
Nope, you need to flip it over.
Flip it over.
There you go.
Shoot, that's not.
There you go.
The nut is too short.
No, you just gotta apply pressure on the end of that wrench while you're loosening it. That's
There we
it.
go.
You got it. So it's kind of tucked up into a tight little spot right there. And like I said, if you did remove that front bracket, it would make it a lot easier to get to, but we're gonna try this for now. See how it works out.
Thought I'd be able to.
Yeah, it's
Undo
going into
that
plastic.
manual.
It's not, other way. Flip it over.
Other way?
Yep, lefty loosey, righty tighty.
I am not the best at this.
That's all right, you'll get better.
I don't do this often.
Yeah, you're gonna be doing it more.
Eh.
It's okay.
Shoot.
You want me to get it?
Independence Dad.
I was gonna say too bad, you gotta do it yourself.
Really?
Yeah, but you're right. You made me proud.
Shoot.
You're almost there. The easiest way is to hold your finger on the end of that while you're turning it. You know, there you go. And you can go real quick.
Pushes my finger into the plastic. I got fat fingers.
Sorry.
I can get that manually now.
Got it?
Uh-huh. Oh, they made it just short enough to get that out.
Let me see.
I don't know if I messed up the screw.
No, it's fine. It's just a plastic screw. All right, hold the camera. Let's see if these lights are gonna pop out. Let's do one at a time, just so we can focus. And I got one more right here. I can see that.
I got two more.
So let's get this side.
Here, take my screw too.
Now hold on to your screw on that side so we know it goes to that side.
All right.
And look, see?
That's smart.
There we go. This is just gonna pop out.
It's hard to see from this angle.
You getting that?
Yeah,
So
there is
that little black insert. And interestingly enough, that shows you, like I was talking about earlier, how CanAm already pre-ran the wires, because that's the little dummy harness that the factory light harness is already snapped into. So it makes our wiring super, super easy. Absolutely plug and play. I love it. So let's get rid of these ugly things. Let's pop one of the new ones in.
They are pretty ugly.
They are. All right, Jackson, you want to get what's in this box here? I know we covered it a little bit, but let's take it all actually out. We got both of our brow lights. The other one's sitting on the bottom. I hope I have the right one. They did give us a remote. So you got a nice little remote with a little tether to it and some instructions. If you guys see this, they actually chase, which is going to be super cool. I can't wait to see that at night. That's going to be super, super cool. They got instructions. To be honest, I haven't even looked at them yet, but whatever. So there is our wiring harness, and there's our factory plug. Important to note, these two extra wires are going to be, if you're going to use it with the street legal kit, these are where you're going to tie into, excuse me, for your turn signals. Basically, each one of these wires is going to be a positive wire leading to it. When you press the switch, you're going to be left, right, and I just guessed on which one that is, but I promise you I had a 50-50 shot of being right. So that's it. Let's see which one this is, which this says left hand, and yes, I got lucky and picked the right side. So, can we snap this in? Cheating without taking this all apart, Jackson?
I don't think we can, to be honest. Actually, we might. That's a big might.
Yeah, it kind of seems like I really need to take that apart. Otherwise,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna...
You might mess it up. It's not worth it. Oh? Cheating the system?
Trying to. So, I think I need to take this off.
Yeah.
Which is okay. To really make sure that we can get in there, that's how we need to do it. So I need that T30, which is right here.
I'm very surprised at how dirty this thing is, honestly.
That's on the underside. You ain't gonna get to it.
Yeah.
It's getting hot out here, Jack.
I know. You're lucky you got a white shirt
I
on.
don't even think I needed to do that, but okay, down there. It's kind of white. Now, it's my arch nemesis, those stupid little clips. I hate them so much. CanAm really could have given me a better fastener, something that doesn't completely mar it up as you take it out. Either that or I'm just an idiot and doing it wrong. I guess either one's possible.
Yeah. Can't disagree with you there.
Well,
Man, the CanAm looks mean right now. Without these
with no
plastics.
front end.
Uh-huh. Seeing that radiator looks cool.
All right. So there's that.
Those are the dividers.
Okay.
I don't know what they're for, but...
So yeah, we definitely needed to do that. That was a super important step. If I would have tried to cheat on that and skip taking that little bracket out, which, what was it, 3 screws and a little push pin, it wouldn't have sat in here right. If you look, let me take this light out. Jackson, you see these little tabs right here?
Mm-hmm.
Each one of these little tabs on the factory fascia actually have to snap into the light housing. So again, if I would have tried to be lazy and cheat that, there's no way I could have made sure that all those were snapped in. So now that we were smart, let's try to get them snapped in. Let's see, so let's make sure we know where all of them are. I got one up here, so we should probably start here and start working our way back.
Yeah, that makes sense. You want me to hold down its back?
Ooh, that is not good.
Oh, yeah, you messed up the clip.
But it's like they're too big. It doesn't want to go in. Let's see, maybe I start on a different one. See?
It's weird.
All right, so we ended up kind of figuring that out off camera. It was a little bit of a pain, but I wanted to show you on the actual lights, and it's probably gonna be hard to see, but where the tabs come in from the front fascia, they mount into here, and there's a slight angle right there. You really gotta start at the front of this and work it on gently. If you're too rough with it, you're gonna break off those mounting tabs, and then you're really screwed. Don't do that. Be careful with it. Work it from front to back. Learn from my mistake. Be a little patient. What I did was start it at the top, snap that one in, and you just kind of got to work your way back. It does make the last one kind of hard, but it's doable. So that's that. We figured that out without breaking anything. Let's get to the other side. All right, Jack. Now this side, you had started already.
A little.
Oh, you know what? No, before we do that, let's button this side back up. That would probably be the best thing to do. Yeah, it is. So that goes like that, and so now you can see how it really holds everything together, nice and tight. Oh, that's awesome. I like it. I like it a lot. So now we get the fun job of trying to remember where all these screws came out of.
Yeah. And that is a fun job.
Oh yeah, there's not too many, luckily. So we should be all right.
There actually wasn't a whole lot of screws holding in this whole piece.
Oh, you know what? What am I doing? That bracket goes on there. Supposed to be watching me, Jack. This guy goes on there, right? So, and that screw is already in there. And this sits just like that. Just like that. Okay. Not too shabby. Let's get all these in loosely, and then we'll crank them. All right, well, we're not gonna bore you guys with all these step-to-step instructions. Basically, we're putting this back together. You saw how we took it apart. It's really just putting it back together, figuring out what nuts and bolts go where. We're gonna knock this side out, finish this, get the other side out, and then start putting it back together so we can show you guys what it's gonna look like. Let's do it. All right, so we fought with those tabs. We got everything put back together. That's how she looks. I think it looks pretty sweet, and we haven't even lit it up yet. Basically, we've got two little pigtails that come off each one of those lights. Those are going to lead to your RGB controller, and then out of the RGB controller, you're going to tap into that factory CanAm wiring, like I said. So we're going to go ahead and do that, but I figured I'd take this opportunity to show you what it looks like right there without those little black inserts. I think it looks pretty cool. As you can see, it looks like the LEDs go the entire way in comparison to CanAm's just at the bottom, bouncing off the reflectors. So now that we got that put back together, which honestly wasn't that hard, the biggest word of advice I'd give you guys is take your time with those little tabs. Just like I said before, they're kind of a pain. You got to be patient. You got to just kind of keep working it, and it'll go, promise. And then once you get it in, make sure you slide it all the way down in the position to actually kind of lock it into place. That's part of the design. I don't know if it was a bad decision on KemiMoto's part or what quite happened as far as why it was so difficult, but it was a little challenging. But again, nothing you can't do without a little patience. So just exercise some patience, you'll get it. So with that being said, let's get this back on this. Oh look, there's the little factory ones. So we got the whole front end tore apart. You guys saw that. Now it's time to put it back together. Let's do it. All right, so we got all that put back together, and I gotta say, I think that looks pretty freaking good. That looks awesome. We still got the wiring to do, so we don't even know what they look like lit up, but honestly, that looks way better than those little black plastic inserts. Wiring honestly looks super easy. Like I said, everything's plug and play. I gotta plug my headlights back in. I had to remount the rock lights because I had to take that off, but it doesn't look too bad. We're just gonna link those two headlights together and power up that RGB controller with that factory harness. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start snapping all these little connectors and harnesses back in. Once I get that done, we're gonna light these bad boys up and see what they look like. So I actually decided to just temp it in and start it to make sure that I'm understanding this wiring correctly. One thing I was a little confused about is each one of the factory CanAm Brow Lights have their own power supply, and the RGB controller links to one. So I'm thinking I just need one power coming in, and then that goes to both lights. So now that I got it hooked up, let's start it up and see. Oh, I did also download, here is the app. It's called Pro RGB. Let's see what this looks like. All right. Ooh. And they both lit up. That's cool. All right. So there she is. This also comes with this little remote on top of the app. So if you don't want to mess with the app, you do have the remote. Let's see what these different little light modes look like. Let's try red. And the remote's, oh. Slip out the battery cover. Let's try that again. Red. Oh, that's cool. Green. There it is. Orange. Oh, it changed. That's super, super cool. So like I said, I was a little confused because you got power supplies, so that answers your question with that one. You can tuck the other power supply off into the corner and protect it. You don't need it. It gets fed off of the one. So, man, that looks awesome. With that being said, let me clean up this wiring, make it 100% finished, and we'll go from there. Let's do it. All right, so now that I knew that that wiring was actually gonna work, I went ahead and tidied everything up. If you look down here, ended up mounting that Bluetooth controller right there. I'm not a huge fan of that location because it's going to get absolutely blasted by water, mud, rocks, and everything in between. But given the short leads of the wires, it was really my only location. So we'll see how it handles, and I don't know. If it messes up, we'll go from there. Got that side done. We got this side cleaned up. Oh, it looks like I missed one, huh? And that's it. Overall, guys, that really wasn't a bad install, and they look super awesome. So let me pull it around and go through the different lighting modes. I do want to do a quick video later on once it gets dark to actually show how bright they are. But we were playing around with it earlier off camera, and they got this super cool chase mode. So I do kind of want to show that, or maybe we'll just wait till later when it gets dark. But either way, that's been a fun install. Overall, I was pretty impressed with the KemiMoto build quality. The only thing that really frustrated me was those mounting tabs, like I said, and I don't know if that was KemiMoto's fault or CanAm's fault, but it was someone's fault. It was kind of a pain, and it definitely could have been engineered better. But whatever, it is what it is. We got our brow lights, our RGB KemiMoto brow lights on our 2023 CanAm Maverick X3. Super excited for these bad boys. And now it's time to move on to the next add-on, which is another surprise. You guys are going to find out in the next video. Gotta watch to see, but we got more stuff coming. Stay tuned. Let's see. Thanks for watching, guys. All right, so before we wrap the video up, I wanted to go over the different modes that are available on these KemiMoto RGB brow lights. It's timing out right now. I just shut the machine off. I was kind of playing with it. It's gonna time out in just a second, and then we're gonna fire it back up and go over those different modes. They got a bunch of different little like kind of color chasing options, which are all pretty cool. And they got a music option too, but you gotta have the app running, which right now I just have everything linked to my phone, but we're running everything off a tablet. I'm gonna download this as a tablet. I just haven't got there yet. So let's start it up. That turns the lights on. So you see them start to flash. Now we're gonna use our little remote and we're gonna go through the different modes. So let's just hit the mode button once. Then it starts chasing. That's pretty cool. Let's turn those headlights off. Just so we can really focus on the brow lights, let's turn those headlights off. And I'm gonna cycle through modes. Those are pretty cool. I like how it adds up at the end. It's got like a cumulative action. It's gonna stack up, and then that's cool. Super cool. Good job, KemiMoto. These things look great. Super excited to get them out on the trail. And that's it. 2023 CanAm Maverick X3 DS Turbo CanAm Brow Lights.